Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to isolate a factor in the race, an element of the race that we might look back on later as having been a path to finding the winner. Well, this week our once a year at Happy Valley for weekend racing. Sunday, 10 races at Happy Valley, and the first one we're going to look at is race 6, where our winning factor is the Jockey. And this looks quite a tactical class 4 with a few chances, but to me the main players are Fast Pace for Blake Shin, Jerry Chow's mount, More Than Enough, Free Foal for Matthew Chadwick, and Zac Purton's ride, Earnest Feeling. But most of all I want to focus on Earnest Feeling, on the race map, and particularly on Zac Purton. So let's take a look at the first up run this season for Earnest Feeling, and this is race number 80, and this was a similar style of race, a class 4 1650 on October 6, and in yellow and purple colours from gate 8. Earnest Feeling is negative early and drifts back with the strong pace on in the first half of the race. You can see there on the heat map. And just after halfway, Earnest Feeling comes out 3 wide, covered up by another horse who's surging forward around them, but that horse goes on and Earnest Feeling ends up posted out there, working wide around the field into the breeze. In the stretch, the front runners get tired. Earnest Feeling has also done a little bit of work, but he gathers them in, only finding one too strong coming from the back, the fresh horses finishing off strongly, and one just grabs him near the line. So that's the best piece of form coming into this race. I have no doubt that Earnest Feeling will be our favourite, and he gets Zac Purton for the first time. Purton doesn't often ride for the Gibson stable, but this will be his first ride for Richard Gibson this season, and it looks a good one. Now, 40% of our races in Hong Kong are run at Happy Valley each year, and because we do this show for the weekend meetings, it's only once a year that I actually get a chance to give you a few pointers to Happy Valley on the statistical side, things that you might be able to use in your betting through the rest of the season. And one of those is Happy Valley jockeys, because Zac Purton owns the valley. If you take a look at these figures here, I've ranked the jockeys by win percentages so that you can see quite clearly the difference between Purton and his great rival Joe Moreira at the track. Now, this is since 2013 when Moreira arrived in Hong Kong. Purton has a little bit better strike rate than the Brazilian, but a way better return on your dollar if you're backing him. His wins are miles ahead of the expected wins from the market, which is saying something because the expectations on Purton's rides are usually pretty high. And I think Zac will get a quite soft opportunity to show off his navigational skills here. When we take a look at the map, Purton on Earnest Feeling, well, I think he'll be a little bit closer than we saw in that video. That was a fast run race early. It doesn't look to be quite so much pace here, and he has a better draw. I think he'll take a closer position just behind the leaders, and the leaders, well, most likely Fast Pace, Free Foal and More Than Enough. They've all led at different times, but I don't see them setting a particularly fast pace. If they did, well, Purton still has options from this draw. So the tip in race 6, Earnest Feeling. His winning factor, the Jockey. Now, I think this horse would be favourite regardless of who was riding it, but having the King of Happy Valley aboard is certainly worth an extra length or two. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9, and our winning factor here, the draw. And this class 3 looks very open. Most of the runners in it have some sort of a claim, but the main players to me look like We the South, dropping back in class, Gunnison, who returns to the races 4 days after his dirt win on Wednesday night, Pro Peace, who was badly checked first run this season but showed some promise last campaign, Amazing Rocky with a light weight, and another down in the weights, Baby, who returns to his preferred track. And in fact, my focus is going to be on the real horses for courses entries in this race, We the South and Baby. Between them, they've won 8 from 29 at Happy Valley, but they've failed to run a place in all 12 of their combined starts anywhere else. So they are very much Happy Valley specialists. Now, this is We the South running first up this season. It was a 1,000 metre race at Sha Tin, and he's a quick horse. As usual in the red and blue colours, he's coming over to share the lead, and although he's under a little bit of pressure here with the other leaders quite away from home, he sticks on bravely to finish just behind the placings with some very much in-form horses around him. Now, he's since had another start over 1,200 metres on dirt and was a creditable fourth there, but he returns to very much his preferred track, Happy Valley, on Sunday, and so too does Baby. Now, it wasn't easy to find a decent replay of Baby because his last Happy Valley run he was knocked out of the race, and has mostly had a diet of Sha Tin races either side of that, a track where he doesn't perform. But anyway, this is first up this season at Sha Tin, barrier 8 in black and bronze colours with a white cap. He drifts back early and is soon at the rear of the field. Now, the heat map shows here it's not really run to suit finishers, but not much was expected from Baby as a 100 to 1 chance here. He still holds his ground in the sprint down to the line, and it was a serviceable effort considering this isn't his track. And after showing you that, I can hear you all from here saying, well, that doesn't look much of a pointer to a horse as a winning chance, but I think you're reckoning without the magic of Happy Valley, the C+3 course and barrier 1. So it's not news Happy Valley is a small turning track and the draw is important, but on this graphic I've laid out 10 years of win percentages for each gate on the 4 different rail positions. A, where the track is normal, and then as it moves out further to the B, C and C+3 positions. And you can see that as the rail goes out, the disadvantage of a wide gate grows. The inside draws are a positive but remain fairly even until you get to the C+3, the widest rail where we are running on Sunday. Then gate 1 is absolutely gold, winning the best part of double the races won by the next best gate. And I can hear you again saying, yes, but everybody already knows that. Tell us something new. So here's a different graphic. And this tells you that gate 1 on the Happy Valley C+3 is almost unique in horse racing. Even though the whole world knows it's a big advantage, the market still hasn't caught up with how much of an advantage it is. And of all the barrier draws, it's still the one greatly outperforming the market, with its wins in those 10 years still 28 wins ahead of the expected level. And gate 1 is where we find Baby drawn on Sunday. And when we take a look at the map, we'll likely find We the South in the lead, being pressured by the very free-running Super Axiom from the outside, and maybe even a few others contributing to the pace in what looks a very competitively run event. Meanwhile, Baby, well, I don't think he'll get as far back as we saw in that video. He's got a much better draw, of course, and it's his style to sit in behind the speed and finish off anyway, so the good pace should help him do his thing. So the tip in race 9, Baby, his winning factor, the draw. I think just returning to Happy Valley would have made him an improver in this race, but getting the Golden Gate 1 and a speed to run at, that looks absolutely made to order. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Enjoy Happy Valley on Sunday. We'll see you next time.